Okay, hello everyone. We are from group 5. We'll do a presentation about syntax. But before that, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Anissa Dextralani Pertiwi.
My name is Putu Pratnyaswari.
My name is Gusti Ayu Meridita Purnaryanti.
And my name is Putu Aditya Masaputra.
Okay, so the first material will be explained by Dita.
Okay, thanks for the time, Anissa. So the part of grammar that represents a speaker knowledge of sentence and their structure is called syntax. In linguistics, syntax is the study of how words are put together to form sentence and how the order of words affect the meaning of a sentence. In this case, we will learn about relationship between words, such as how they agree with each other and how different grammatical structures are used to convey meaning. By studying syntax, linguistics can understand how language works and how they can be analyzed and compared.
And next, I will explain about the rules of syntax. Now, the rules of syntax combine words into phrases and phrases into sentences. Among other things, the rule determines the correct word order for a language. Next slide. Now, for an example, English is a subject, verb, object, or SVO language. Now, let's see the example of a SVO sentence. Next slide. Previous slide. Now, here's the example. The first sentence is Leo drinks the milk, and the milk drinks Leo. Now, the first sentence is grammatical because the words occur in the correct order. But the second sentence is ungrammatical because the words occur in the incorrect order. Next. Now, a second important role of the syntax is to describe the relationship. To describe the relationship, yes, between the meaning of a particular group of words and the arrangement of those words. Next. Now, for examples, the sentence "I walked the same road" and "the same road I walked" contain the same words, but the meanings are quite different. Next. Now, the rule of syntax also specify the grammatical relations of a sentence. A sentence can also include a part of speech, such as adjectives, adverbs, prepositional phrases, subordinate clauses, direct and indirect object. Next slide. So, in other words, they provide information about who is doing what to whom. Next slide. Now, for example, this information is crucial to understanding the meaning of a sentence. For example, my friend likes your cousin, and your cousin likes my friend. The grammatical relation of the sentence 1 and sentence 2 are reversed. So the otherwise identical sentences have very different meanings. Okay, next slide. And the next material will be continued by Dita.
Okay, thanks for the time, Maisa. So I will continue the explanation about the rule of syntax grammatical categories. As Maisa said before, in order of subject, verb, object structure, a sentence can include part of speech, subordinate clause, and direct and indirect object. These elements help add more information and detail to the sentence. The most common grammatical categories in language include nouns, verb, adjective, pronoun, preposition, conjunction, and subordinated clause. So, in a sentence structure, subject, verb, object, object can be replaced by noun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, and subordinate clause. The first one is noun. Noun is a word that refers to people, place, things, or idea. The example of people is Anissa or doctor. Place, the example of place are Singaraja, bedroom, and etc. And the example of thing is pen, people, laptop, and the example of idea are success and happiness. So the example is Anissa buy a book. So Anissa is a noun. That word that refers to people, noun. And book is noun too. Number 2 is verb. Verb is word that describe action or state of being. The example is walk, run, study, cook. So the example of sentence is Dita drinks coffee. So word drinks is a verb. Next slide, please. The next one is adjective. Adjective is a word that describes noun, such as their size, color, or quality. So the example of the sentence is, Maisa draw a big flower. So the word big is adjective, and Maisa is a subject. And the next one is adverb. Adverb is a word that describes verbs, adjective, or other adverbs such as how, when, or where something happened. So the example in the sentence is the teacher politely reminded the student to complete their homework. So the word politely is adverb. Next slide. The next one is pronoun. Pronoun is a word that replace noun, such as he, she, or it, me, his, yours, mine, etc. In the sentence, that's not your pen, it's mine. So the word your and mine is pronoun. And the next one is preposition. Preposition is a word that show the relationship between nouns or pronouns and other element in a sentence, such as in, on, under, in front of, or between, and etc. The example in the sentence is, your bag is under the table. So under is a preposition. Next slide. So the last one is conjunction. Conjunction is word that connect clauses or phrase in a sentence, such as but, because, and, or, and etc. Or the example is, Maisa is angry because he forgot his homework. The word because is a conjunction. The other example is Pratnya buys 2 shirts and 3 socks. So the conjunction in that sentence is and subordinate clause or dependent clause is clauses that cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. In the example, Anissa eats a lot of food because she is starving. So the subordinative clauses is because she is starving, and Anissa eats a lot of food is independent clauses. So there is a close relationship between sentence structure and grammatical categories. Grammatical categories such as noun, verb, adjective, and adverbs provide the building blocks for construction sentence. Sentence structure, on the other hand, in the way in which these building blocks are arranged to form a coherent sentence. Okay, I will explain this. So the choice of grammatical categories and their placement in a sentence affect the meaning and syntax of the sentence. And the next material will be explained by my friends.
Okay, I will explain about synthetic categories. Synthetic category is a family of expression that can substitute for one another without loss of grammaticality. And synthetic categories are part of a speaker's knowledge of syntax. Okay. There are three types of synthetic categories. The first one is parasol categories. For example, noun phrase such as man with a telescope. Next is verb phrase such as sees, always sees, rarely sees the man, often sees the man with a telescope. Next is adjective phrase such as happy, very happy about winning. Prepositional phrase such as over, nearly over the hill. And the last one is adverbial phrase such as more brightly than the sun. Here a video to further explain about parasol categories.
We can have different types of phrasal constituents, like a noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, prepositional phrase, and adverb phrase. Why do they have syntactic categories? You see here, there is a phrasal constituency within the sentence, and then every phrase is labeled with a syntactic category. Why? Because, for example, if you have a grammatical sentence that contains a noun phrase, you can replace a noun phrase with another noun phrase and the sentence will still be grammatical. Here, the boy belongs to the category noun phrase. You can replace it with another noun phrase. You can say, the sentence will still be grammatical. Let me emphasize, I'm not saying it's going to mean the same thing, but it will still be grammatical. For example, planted in the garden is a verb phrase. I can replace it with a verb. I can say, fell asleep. Although it means a different thing, but the grammaticality is not affected. I can replace this with John. It's still grammatical. So this whole thing is a noun phrase. So technically all these noun phrases can replace each other. The sentence would believe that only happy people can make a key difference. A complex sentence, you see, only happy people can make a difference. This is a clause within the bigger sentence. We have a complex sentence, we. Pronoun, but pronouns can replace noun phrases. Believe is a verb, but the whole thing is a verb phrase. In a different sense, here I can actually, if I mark the verb phrase, I can replace the whole verb phrase with one simple verb. We smile. So it's still, the sentence is correct. That only happy people can make a key difference is a complementizer phrase. It functions like a noun phrase. We can replace it with a noun phrase. Happy is an adjective phrase. It can be replaced by other adjective phrases. You might say, why is it not an adjective and it's an adjective phrase? It's an adjective phrase that only consists of an adjective. For example, here I could qualify this by extremely. Then it will still be an adjective phrase. Or I could put a degree word. It's an adjective phrase. So an adjective phrase could consist only of an adjective, or an adjective and an adverb qualified by an adverb, or an adjective qualified by a degree word. Because all these color-coded words belong to the same syntactic category, they can successfully replace each other. And by successfully, I mean without affecting the grammaticality of the sentence. Beneath the surface of the sea is a prepositional phrase. So what did we do here? I replaced an entire prepositional phrase with another prepositional phrase. The sentence still remains grammatical. The meaning changes, and the meaning may not even be true, but you can't argue the grammaticality of the sentence. So you need to keep these two things distinct. Adverbial phrase or adverb phrase, both are correct. So quickly is an adverb phrase, adverbial phrase. And you might say it's just an adverb. Why do you call it an adverbial phrase? Because it could potentially be modified or qualified with a degree word. Can you replace this with another adverb phrase or adverbial phrase? I could do really well. He repaired my car really well, or very slowly.
The second one is lexical categories. For example, nouns such as puppy, boy, man, soup, happiness, pork, kiss, pillow. The second one is verb, such as find, run, sleep, throw, realize, see, try, want, believe, and many more. The next one is prepositions, such as up, down, across, into, from, by, with, and over, and many more. The next is adjectives, such as red, big, happy, candid, hopeless, fair, idiotic, lucky, and many more. And the last one is adverb, such as again, always, brightly, often, never, very, barely. And the last one of syntactic categories is functional categories. The first one is determiner. Determiner include articles, demonstrative, and quantifiers. Articles such as a or the, demonstrative such as this, that, this, and those. Quantifiers such as each and every. Second one is tense. Tense include modal auxiliaries such as may, might, can, could, must, shall, should, will, and would. So the and that, tense and determiner are functional categories, so-called because their members have grammatical functions rather than descriptive meanings. So this is a video for further explanation about functional categories.
And there is a difference between lexical and functional categories, which we'll talk about when we finally build tree structures. But functional categories usually pattern with one of the lexical categories. So for instance, determiners like the, or these, determiners pattern with nouns. So you'll always see them with nouns when they occur. Qualifiers are words that can modify adverbs, such as very quickly, or even prepositions, such as into. You can say more into it, or he's so into it. Auxiliaries are modals or words like have or been. For instance, I could have been happy. Could have been, these are all auxiliaries. Or I have went to the store. That word have is an auxiliary. It's kind of a supporting verb for the main verb. Finally, conjunctions, these join two sentences together, essentially. So, I went to the store and I went to the park. I love coffee, but I don't drink it often. Something like that. So now that we know lexical categories, you can pause the video and try to assign all of these words, these lexical categories. Let's just get right into it. So I is a noun. I would like cereal for breakfast. So would is a modal word, but we'll just call this an aux. I would like cereal for breakfast. So like, I would like cereal for breakfast. So this is kind of tricky. This is a verb. So I would like cereal for breakfast. We need a verb in a sentence. A sentence is not complete without some type of verb. And would is a modal. It is not going to be the main verb of your sentence. Cereal is a noun. For is a preposition. And breakfast is also a preposition. Okay, 2. The balloon could have popped. The balloon. Well, balloon is our noun. And remember when I said determiners pair with nouns? Well, the is a determiner, and it's occurring right before the noun here. The balloon could have popped. So could is another modal word. It's an auxiliary. Have is another one of those supporting verbs. And popped is finally our main verb of the sentence in the past tense. So you can say the balloon popped. The balloon could have popped. The balloon had popped. Again, you can see these words like could and have are all just kind of supporting that main verb. Finally, Jim ran very quickly to a store. Well, Jim is a noun. It's a proper name. We usually just label all proper names as nouns. Ran is a verb. Then we have very quickly to a store. Okay, well, think about quickly. Quickly is talking about how the running was done. So quickly is an adverb. Now, what is very doing? Well, very is kind of telling us how quickly, right? Is it a little quickly or very quickly? So this is our qualifier. And we'll see that qualifiers and adverbs pair together quite often. So Jim ran very quickly to a store. So to is a preposition, a is a determiner, and finally store is a noun.
Okay, the next material will be explained by my friend Pratnya.
Okay, thank you, Anissa. So I will explain about sentence structures. So in the sentence structures, there's a phrase structures trees. So for examples, sentence, the child found a puppy. The tree diagram show, among other things, that the phrase found a puppy defines naturally into two branches, one for the verb found and the other for direct object, a puppy. A different divisions say found a and puppy is unnatural. I will explain about the trees first. So the tree is upside down. So the root is in up, and the words in the sentence separates to individually. So the words D is determiner, child is noun, found is verb, the word a is article, and the word puppy is noun. So more examples about the structures is from sentence, the man with a telescope rarely see a beautiful object. So the same like the first one, the tree is upside down and the road is the whole sentence. In the words of the sentence, it will be individually. The word D is determiner, man is noun, with is preposition, is article, telescope is a noun, really is adverb, see is a verb, is a article, beautiful is adjective, and object is a noun. Next one. Okay, so in the sum constituency test, the natural groupings of parts of sentence called constituents. Various linguistics text reveals the constituents of a sentence. So the first task is task that stands alone. For example, if a group of words can stand alone, for example, as an answer to a question, they form a constituent. So in response to the questions, what did you find? A speaker might answer a puppy. So a puppy is stand alone. So if the speaker answers with a found a is can stand alone. Next one. The second task is replacements by a pronoun. For example, in answer to the questions, where did you find a puppy? A speaker can say, I found him in the park. Sentence found a puppy as in can be John found a puppy and Bill did too. The next one. So a third task of constituency is the move as a unit task. For example, if we compares the following sentence to the sentence, the child found a puppy, we see that contains elements safe move. So the conclusions from our presentations today is, in linguistics, syntax is the study of how words are put together to form sentence and how the order of words affects the meanings of the sentence. The rules of syntax combines words into praise and praise into sentence. Sentence can also include other elements such as adjective, adverbs, prepositionals, phrase, and subordinate clause. The most common grammatical categories in language include noun, verbs, adjective, adverbs, pronouns, prepositions, and conjunction. So syntactic categories, there's three types. Number one is phrasal categories, lexical categories, and functional categories. So the significant source we use is from Skin, Rodman, and Yams, 2007, and Introductions to Linguistics, 10th editions, Boston Westworth.
Okay, so that's all our presentation today. We are very sorry if we do any mistakes, and thank you.